Digital Adel Hoops Beyond the Backboard podcast for you with my co-host, Matt Hanifan. How are you doing today, Matt?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I am doing fantastic. My voice sounds like I've gargled absolute glass. Don't know why. But anyway, it just happens. We are here. I'm excited, man. The Miami Heat play tonight. They're playing the San Antonio Spurs. So that means we also get to see Stefan Castle, Victor Wembanyama. The Washington Wizards are playing tonight. In fact, my camera is so excited about the Washington Wizards that it went blurry again for no reason whatsoever. But there's just exciting basketball, exciting rookies. Cooper Flagg had a great game yesterday. You know, as a rookie, he really is leading that team, to be honest with you. He probably, I haven't looked the numbers up, but it just feels like he has the most usage on the entire team. And that includes Anthony Davis.
They're using him a point guard.
Absolutely.
For better or worse.
Correct. I'm sure he would have better numbers if he wasn't running point. But it is what it is. And he had a phenomenal game last night. Just all around defensively on the boards, being aggressive, attacking the rim. It was really nice to see. But today, we're here to talk about two teams for this Rookies Only segment. And one of these teams, Matt, it's not the Portland Trailblazers, who's the first team. Second team, the Sacramento Kings. That's the one we're here to talk about. Because you know why, Matt? Do you know why that is? Why it's so exciting?
Enlighten me.
We get to see your Nevada bias in full effect.
My Mountain West bias, not my Nevada bias.
I know, but it's a lot easier of a bit if I can just call it your Nevada bias.
If Nick Clifford went to Nevada.
Oh, you would have lost your ever-loving mind.
Oh, it would have been great. It would have been great.
Yeah, you'd have lost your ever-loving mind.
Would have been way more watchable than what I had to watch last year. And what I may have to watch this year. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't want to speak ill of Nevada, so I'm just going to keep the comments to myself. Anyway, the first player that's up is Young Hansen for the Portland Trailblazers. A curious draft pick. I mean, I like Young Hansen, like the offensive ability, the passing, his touch around the basket, but there's obvious limitations to him. And where he got drafted, compared to how the roster of Portland's currently built. Excuse me. And we're not going to talk about the head coach that supposedly is a mastermind, allegedly the mastermind of a multi-transnational gambling operation. We're not going to talk about that. But the decision to draft Young Hansen, when they already had Donovan Klingeth, they already have Kamara, they already have a team that didn't need another big, essentially, a high-profile big in the first round. What are your thoughts on the draft spot and the player overall?
I thought this was probably the worst first-round pick or top 20 pick outside of the whole, New Orleans, I'm going to trade up 10 spots to take Derek Queen 13. And I'm going to trade my unprotected pick anyway. That's so far just at the time of recording this working out swimmingly for Atlanta with the Pelicans being 0-4. This was just such a weird pick that came out of like left field, and they traded back. They traded back, I think, from 11 to 16 because Memphis moved up from 16 to 11 to draft Cedric Coward. Portland gets Young Hansen, which I had a second round grade on him, or like a second round, like mid to late second / undrafted grade. I didn't think he was super draftable enough to where I had him in like the top, I think like 50 or whatever. Very confusing in the sense that, yes, we've talked about it on this show. I did like his playmaking, especially at the combine, which is when we really got like a first great look at him. But
Right.
then you go back and watch the tape, not only from the the combine, but from him in the Chinese Basketball Association, which is where he played the last couple of years.
Right.
And like the defense, like I think one of those years he won Defensive Player of the Year just because he blocked a ton of shots. But other than that, like if you just look at him, like he's not someone who's great positionally
No.
in the pick and roll. Like I had serious questions about that, questions about his foot speed. He always had his hands low. Like he wasn't really like active. He's not really like flexible in that kind of way.
Not very strong.
Yeah, like not super strong or physical. And like he's not a good shooter. I still have questions about his finishing around the rim, especially against NBA competition. And it was just one of those things where it's like, yeah, he's a fun passer and playmaker, but like what's really the upside here? And then he had some good moments in summer league, albeit it just being summer league. He
Right.
was kind of like a summer league darling because of like, who he is as a person. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But I just didn't like this pick at all. They had Klingon, I mean, if Robert Williams is healthy, which he's never healthy,
Never.
he's also there. Reith is still there, Duop Reith. I know they're not going to use Kamara at center, but like he's another like big wing-ish
Yeah.
kind of player. Same thing with Denny. Same thing with Chris Murray. Jeremy Grant. Like it's just a weird construction of a roster. He's only played one game, I think, so far this season, 1 or 2 games.
Yeah, it's like
Hardly
3 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, no, yeah, okay, so never mind. He's played more than that. It's just the minute total.
Yeah, the minutes
Um,
are
he's
really
played
low.
30 combined minutes, 2 of 9 from the floor, 0 of 3. I mean, you really can't take anything away just because of how few he's actually played. But I don't know. He can obviously grow and develop those skills. Like I'm not saying his ceiling's like super capped to where it is right now. I just don't necessarily see it, especially in this context. We'll see
Right.
how
I was a little
Tiago.
higher on him than you were. I had him 30th on my big board. I think the
Yeah.
finishing around the rim was going to be okay. I think his creativity is exceptional. His ability to pass is exceptional.
Right, that's the best part.
Absolutely. I just feel like there's so many things he's going to need to work on, and the Blazers were already set in their front court that it was just an unnecessary pick. It's not like the Blazers were super successful and they're like, we have the luxury of taking this guy because we like him. Like they need to have stuff that fits their roster construction if they wanted to try to win.
Yeah.
And apparently their coach was a little distracted with other things.
Yeah, before he was a coach. And the thing with like if I'm giving him like any benefit of the doubt, they're a really good defensive team and they're really a pain in the butt on a night-to-night basis. So like if you deploy him, you have players to somewhat cover him up.
Yeah,
And
somewhat.
So, like just because like okay, he can play alongside Kamara, who's an exceptional defender. You can kind of limit him with you're not going to play him with Klingon, obviously, but like you have Drew Holiday there, you have Jeremy Grant there, who's not like a bad defender, even though I think he's kind of regressed. Like you can kind of hide him a little bit, but not really because teams are still going to put him in action.
Right.
But at least you have some good point of attack defenders to help mitigate some of those struggles.
Yeah.
But again, I just offensively, outside of him being a hub, which he can do.
That's his main function.
Yeah.
If you put him in any lineup, is for him to be a hub.
I struggle with where he fits in the short term and the long term. I mean, obviously a lot can change year to year. He can, there's a world where he develops into like this, like a rotational big, and like that'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
I'm not quite there right now.
I also think Cedric Cowherd would have fit better than Young Hansen on that roster. Also, him or Carter Bryant would have been better picks.
Probably, even though like they're just stacked at wing.
They are stacked at wing, but I still think they would have been able to give you more value in the second unit than Young Hansen.
Sure.
But that's not what we came here for. We didn't come here to talk the Blazers rookies only, Matt Hanifan. We came here for your Mountain West bias, and that is because the Sacramento Kings drafted one Neek Clifford. Tell us about Neek Clifford, Matt.
He was unbelievable during summer league. He was probably one of, if not the best players in summer league, and I'm not just saying that because of how much I like Neek Clifford. 15 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.2 steals, 49, 46, 63 shooting splits. Obviously, the free throw percentage I think will be a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And I thought he was really productive during preseason as well. 14.2 points, 3.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists. Again, 1.2 steals. 48.8% shooting, 60.1% true shooting. He's just such an all over, like he's so malleable, and he could I know I've said this a billion times on here. But he's so malleable in what he can do, and he can fit into pretty much any context because he can play on ball, he can play off ball. I thought he was one of the best defenders in the Mountain West last year. I know
Right.
Magoon Gwath, who I will probably talk a lot about during the regular season this upcoming season. But he was the best. He won Defensive Player of the Year as a freshman. But I thought Neek, just because of the on-ball responsibility that he was the conference's best defender. There were so many different instances throughout the season that you could just watch these games and be like, oh yeah, he's guarding the best player, or he's guarding the second best player. And I thought, even when you look at it in like a summer league context, preseason context, I thought he did fairly well. I know the whistle for him wasn't great at certain points. Like I remember watching that Clippers preseason game where, James Harden got him a little bit doing James Harden stuff. And so I was like, all right,
Right.
you throw your hands up and like, that's just you kind of have to adjust. And obviously it's a rookie moment playing in summer, or playing in preseason rather.
Yeah.
I think the Kings should play him more. The Kings are a mess. I hate watching them.
They are so bad. They're so bad.
They should be leaning into their youth. They're not yet. Doug Christie's already come out with some pretty cryptic calling out players' comments 5 games into the season.
Right.
He's only played 1 game so far, played 24 minutes, 3 shots, 2 points, got 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. So again, like he's doing the dirty work for them. I think he's like a really good connective passer. Someone who I think, like, if you insert him into the starting lineup, regardless of who is around him, I think he could impact whether he's on ball, off ball. He just knows where to be. He's always in the right places, I think, at least offensively. I don't know. I like Neek Clifford's all around skill set, and I think he'll be like a real legit player in this league. They just need to give him the opportunity to do so, and then you'll see it. But that's
Absolutely.
just me. That's my bias speaking. So
that is absolutely your Nevada bias, Mountain West bias showing through. But I liked Neek Clifford as well. I mean, I had him 18th on my big board, so I thought Sacramento got good value for where they drafted him. Yeah. And as you mentioned, I think he does a lot of different things. His versatility, when you look at the advanced metrics while he was in college coming out, relative to his peers, his ability to be ranked high across the board in all situations was one of the biggest advantages that he had coming into the NBA. And one of the things that I'm curious about, a little off topic, what happened to Devin Carter?
It's got to be the shoulder, because I mean last year he missed half the season with the shoulder injury, and I still don't know.
So if that's the case,
lingering with that.
That's
my
the
guess,
case.
At least. I'm not saying that's true or untrue.
Right. But I'm saying it sounds plausible, and if that's the case, it fits with our draft eval, because one of the things we pointed out, he plays a rugged style of basketball for how small he is, and I always wondered, can that translate in the NBA and him stay healthy doing that? That was one of the things that we talked about actually throughout the draft process. So that fits. That's unfortunate if that's the case, because, a rugged defender, good kid, Anthony Carter has ties to the Miami Heat organization. You'd like to see him succeed. I mean, again, it's only his second year, so, I mean, things could obviously turn around. But it's just been a very rough and rocky start for Anthony Carter in Sacramento.
I'm still in, though.
You're all in.
I'm still in. Like I said this during the offseason. Like I want again, I'm kind of like repeating myself in the sense that I just want them to lean into their youth.
Right. Right.
And I think, yeah, I don't know if the 3-point shooting is going to be all that great, at least right now with Devin,
Yeah.
but like I know he can impact defensively. I know he can be
Defensively for sure.
a
Right.
decent passer, a decent decision maker. Like I trust that will still be there as well as like the rebounding and whatnot. Like I just want to see them give him
Yeah.
some runway. Same thing with Neek, same thing with Keon Ellis, same thing with a few of their other young
I like
players. And it's
Keon
just like
Ellis a lot. I like
I
Keon
do
Ellis a
too.
lot. I don't
He's
know
unbelievable.
what they're doing in Sacramento. I mean, Levine, I get. I get Levine. I get DeRozan, but they just need to start trading people.
I don't get those. I don't even get them. We've seen the
But I'm
ceiling
saying
of
they need to
what.
start trading them.
Right. Well, yeah.
It's
Right.
not
No,
like they're a
I'm
DeRozan
100%.
away from the title. They're not
Yeah,
a
like
Levine away from competing.
at some point they're gonna have to pull that plug, and I don't trust not even oh god, who's there? Scott Perry. I
Yeah,
don't trust Scott Perry to do it because I don't think he's gonna get the okay to do that from Vivek. But
right. That's tough, man. That's a tough situation. It's got to be
they're
tough
so
too for
bad.
a young player like Nick Clifford, who probably looks really good in practice and thinks he's doing all the right things, and he still can't get a hat on game day. Sorry, that's a football term. Get a hat.
It's just
But anyway,
it's just frustrating because it's like we saw how awesome it was for the Kings when they were good.
oh yeah,
And we saw
their
how
fans are
like
great.
I have Kings fans in my life considering of where I'm at and where I live.
Right.
It's just not they hate it.
For sure. I can imagine they hate it.
Like
They're
it's
in like purgatory, man.
yeah, like I want them to be good and they've been good for really 1 year of my life or 1 year of like my fandom of
That's right, because you're
like
young.
basketball fandom.
That's because you're young.
Yeah, but like I know like the early 2000s and like all that stuff. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
man.
like the last like
One of my
20
favorite
years.
teams to watch was the Rick Adelman led Sacramento Kings, and him running those split actions for Chris Webber out of the mid post. Loved watching that offense.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I can't. Now they're watching DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Domantas Sabonis,
That's right.
and it's just like it,
I
we
do
know
think
the
Demonis
direction
is
they're
better
going
than
in.
people give him credit for. I think
Who?
people were talking bad about Sabonis, and I think he's better than what people give him credit for. I just think he's in a really bad situation. I really do.
It was. I think De'Aaron helped him out a lot, though.
I'm sure, but any good point guard would help a big out a lot. They don't have one right now.
But right, but like just the scheme, I think more so with like, and I mean, I guess some of the spacing because
What
the space
spacing? They don't
the
have any
spacing
now.
is in uh HE double hockey sticks.
They're the 2024 Miami Heat.
Let's not do that to the Heat. Let's not do that to the Heat.
I'm spacing wise.
Spacing wise. Let's not do that to the
Spacing-wise.
Heat.
It was
It's
so
worse.
bad.
It's
It
worse.
was so bad.
It
really
was bad, but this is worse.
All right, I'll give
Especially
you
when
that.
you're shooting 50% of your shots from the mid range. The Heat weren't doing that.
That's very true. You know what? I concede and acquiesce. You were correct. This is a lot worse than the 2024 Miami Heat spacing.
And I'm
but with that-
exaggerating it probably, but it's like I want to see Neat Clifford play. Even like let's develop right now a little bit. Let's just lean into the youth. Let's develop the youth.
I think this is the biggest takeaway. Matt is furious that Neat Clifford's not playing, and he will belittle your franchise into the ground unless you play him.
That plays a part in it, but I am furious at the Kings just being the Kings because I want them to be good.
No doubt.
And
I got it.
They're just being the Kings, and it's just like this is just unnecessary.
Are they
behavior.
the Cleveland Browns of the NBA? Is that what you're saying?
I'd have to do more digging on the research of the Cleveland Browns.
They've been
history,
perpetually
like,
terrible. Perpetually.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really bad. Like,
I guess
they were good when Jim Brown played football, which was like in the 60s.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, I mean, I can't. I'm ill-educated on the Browns from like 1975 to like
They're
2005
not
or
good.
whatever.
They're not good. Yeah.
Probably not.
That's they're as a Pittsburgh Steeler fan and AFC North aficionado, I can tell you they've been terrible. And they're, you know what? I think Sacramento is actually better than them. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because the owner of the Browns in the middle of the night said, "We're moving to Baltimore." Didn't tell anybody and just moved to Baltimore in the middle of the night. Like left their fans just hanging.
Yeah.
And then the fans were so furious. The NFL was like, "Okay, we'll give them back here. Here's the Browns. You're an expansion team." How does that work?
I have no idea.
You're no longer a team. You're now the Baltimore Ravens. And the NFL is like, "You know what? You guys are so upset and we're afraid of you. Here, just have them back as an expansion team." It was so bizarre. Anyway, we went down a rabbit hole. Matt Hanifan has work to do. So we're getting out of here. Matt, tell the people where they can find you, follow, and get more of your work.
You can find me at NPH_824_ on Twitter. You could find me at hot.hoops.com, vendettasportsmedia.com, mountainwestconnection.com, as well as the Orlando Magic on SI. You could also find me on playback.tv/5RSN and playback.tv/digital Adel Hoops, which we're at right now.
Right now. And I'm Digital Adel. You can find me on all social media platforms under that moniker. Instagram, it's digital_Adel. Part of a rapidly growing Instagram community where we're putting content on there, not every single day, but almost every single day, as well from our playback channel, which we watch all the Miami Heat games for the 5 Reasons Sports Network. You'll find crazy clips on there of Ray running around his house like the weekend.
He found his headphones. How do you like that?
He did find. I wish that bit would have went on forever. That was a hilarious bit. You know what you should do? First thing tonight, like, "Ray, have you found your headphones?" That'd be great. But yeah, that's us for today. That's a show. Please support the podcast. If you haven't had a chance to watch it on YouTube or listen to it, download it. Apple, Spotify, any of those platforms, you can listen to it on your way to work, while you're at work. Just don't let your boss know. But anyway, we're out of here. We'll see you next time.